Hey, I'm Josh, the founder of the Accountability Group, and hi, I'm Josh in recovery and vigilantly battling the diseases of addiction and mental health. Today is August 12th, and we're playing a little catch-up because I'm moving and I don't have the time necessarily to make some of these videos, but I'm catching up as quickly as possible so that they will be current. So August 12th, enough, exclamation mark. Sometimes inside cries out, enough, enough, I've had enough, and then they're ready to take that first step and often most difficult step toward dealing with their disease. Have we really had enough? This is the crucial question we must ask ourselves as we prepare to work the first step in Narcotics Anonymous. It doesn't matter whether or not we've arrived in NA with our families intact, our careers still working for us, and all the outward appearances of wholeness. All that matters is that we reached an emotional and spiritual bottom that precludes our return to active addiction. If we have, we will be truly ready to go to any lengths to quit using. When we inventory our powerlessness, we ask ourselves some simple questions. Can I control my use of drugs in any form? What incidents have occurred as a result of my drug use that I didn't want to happen? How is my life unmanageable? Do I believe in my heart that I am an addict? If the answers to these questions lead us to the doors of Narcotics Anonymous, then we already are ready to move on to the next step toward a life free from active addiction. If we truly have had enough, then we will be willing to go to any lengths to find recovery. Just for today, I admit that I've had enough. I'm ready to work my first step. That one's an interesting one for me, because even though I am quote-unquote successfully in recovery and battling the diseases of addiction and mental health because I have co-occurring disorders, I always know in the back of my mind that, and I have to be careful about this, and I don't want to give advice, but for me personally, I still think that I probably have runs in me, and that is a scary thought process for me. And I've talked to my sponsor and my grant sponsor about this, and one of the things that's always said is that, you know, you can make a run, but you might not always come back to the rooms. And unfortunately, I've had a lot of friends that have never made it back to the rooms. Actually, they've never made it anywhere because I've been to their funerals or burials or vigils. And that's been tough over the years because I really would question what more could I have done. So I just do a living amends, and yeah, that's a tough one for me. But the program has given me the strength to be able to do that while still staying sober and in recovery. And that's because of the fellowship. That's because of my friends. That's because of the people who love and support me, and that's because I'm able to step back and appreciate all the things that I have around me. I have food in my fridge, I have a job, I have the ability to pay my bills, I get to spend my free time with my friends and be present. I get to see my mom and dad, I get to have electricity and lights, I get to have a phone. I mean, there's so many things to be grateful for that are small things that, you know, sometimes, especially when I was in active addiction, I just took for granted. I just assumed, oh yeah, like I have these things, but I didn't appreciate them. Now I actually do. So for me, what was enough was the phrase, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. But the other phrase that I use that helps get me through the day personally is that it's okay to not be okay, and that's okay. And then I'll say the Serenity Prayer probably a few times in my head throughout the day, because I know when I'm doing a spot inventory, and I do a few of them throughout the day, just that I'm making sure I'm being the best version of myself possible, because this is a me versus me battle, and it's a we battle, not an I battle. So when I go to a meeting, we are keeping each other sober. It's not me that's keeping myself sober. It's service work and being with people who I would never cross paths with in my life normally, but we have this common bond and we're working hard to keep each other sober. So my hope for you is that you've found your bottom, you've had enough. You've decided that your life has become unmanageable when you're in active addiction, and enough is enough, and you've earned your seat in this chair. So if you're sitting in these rooms, then you earned that seat, and hopefully you've had enough and that you don't make another run, because you could, but you might not make it back, and that would be really unfortunate. And that's why I started TAG, because I want to hold myself and I want others to hold themselves accountable and for us to help each other. So please subscribe to the channel, watch and like the videos, but most importantly, leave comments. If you've had time underneath your belt, that could be really helpful to the newcomer, and the newcomer explaining kind of the stuff that you're going through helps the people who have time, because it reminds them, personally for me, I don't want to wake up to fluorescent lights, IVs in both arms, a feeding tube in my nose, and a whole bunch of other bad stuff that's happened to me. So I hope that never happens to you. I hope that you've had enough and you can find grace and peace in your recovery. Life will still be life. The real world will still be tough. You will experience adversity, but these programs give you the blueprint and give you the instructions on how to manage that and how to get through it in a healthy manner without having to use. So that's my hope for you. And as always, stay safe, stay strong, and stay sober. I'm Josh, and I'm in recovery and still battling the diseases of addiction and mental health. So thanks for letting me share.